Really, I guess that could be the sound. Hello! Welcome.
Hi.
Back to another episode
Oh, fuck this movie.
of Fuck This Movie, where we talk about fucking movies, and movies with fucking, and how much you should fuck a movie, how
Hell
fucked
yeah.
the movie is.
All the fuckery.
Yeah, all of it. Big
Not a
fans
ton
it.
of fucking in these movies.
No.
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 But there are a couple of nuns that appear.
Yeah. I mean, one of the
They
movies.
both have consequences of fucking.
Yeah.
whether
One of
they
the movies has some
be,
adjacent.
STDs.
We do
or-
know
or
that
children.
Pornography
the man
and stuff,
who
you know.
watched everything, Mr. Reese Anweiler, does love him some nuns.
That's me.
Yeah. There's not any
I love a
direct
good
fucking in
nun.
these films, but there is a lot of adjacency to sexual
Yeah.
subject matter and content. So I guess there is that. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too far off from our baseline.
And that voice is brought to you by John Brown. He's too old to be cool.
I brought it. That's me.
All right, guys. So, what you been up to?
And that's Dustin Holler.
Yeah.
That was a dynamite drop in there.
He shall be named. He shall be named. God damn it. That was said by Reese Anweiler.
Yeah. I guess you didn't say. You just said the
yeah.
man who saw everything. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't,
But
I
yeah,
didn't
I
know
don't
that
need
you
a
needed
name.
to say your whole name.
What we've been watching, you know?
Trying to keep this casual.
I haven't been watching that much, honestly. I did finish the Resonance murder mystery series.
Yeah.
Finally got that wrapped up.
And that's what series?
murder mystery.
I mean, Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
What'd you think? Now that you
Oh, I
wrapped it up?
super enjoyed it. I mean, it's just so character driven.
I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the quippiness of the dialogue and just the constant like shuffling of characters and like the shuffling of characters dialogue amidst each other feels very archery, which is one of my favorite things in the world is archer.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, I did not guess the culprit by the end. It was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it keeps you guessing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And they make a point too. But yeah, the performance is fantastic. Just great cast. Yeah, super satisfying thing. There should be more mysteries, so it's nice to see a well-rounded mystery wrap up. Otherwise, what have I watched? Rewatched Sinners with the family.
Hell yeah.
At home again. Just wonderful. Better the second time, probably.
I agree. It was better.
Yeah, I think that
Even
movie
better
you could
the second time.
just watch over and over again, and it can just be the best.
Did the
background
family
noise.
enjoy their first watch?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, it's really hard to argue with, honestly. It did crack me up how innocent my 14 and 15-year-old boys are. That whenever there's a sexual scene, they're like, "Oh, no. Oh, yeah."
They're probably doing it a lot then.
yeah. I mean, like 4 times, you know. Which I mean, it did not actually show anything really.
No,
There's no.
It doesn't
actual...
even show tits, does it?
I don't
think so.
even think so. Really, no.
Mm.
Like, there's no actual.
Just
legit
real
nudity.
hot sex.
yeah. Some hands in places and faces in places.
Faces and places.
Faces
And
in places.
tongues.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Watch that. Did not get all the way through a Bill Murray movie that I did not know about. Quick Change with
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
what's
With Randy Quaid,
Randy Quaid and I can never remember her name off the top of my head.
Gina Davis. I
Gina
think.
Davis, thank
Oh.
you. Yeah.
And
Oh
dying.
yeah, just super fun. It was like co-written and directed by Bill Murray, I think.
Oh, I did not know that about it.
Yeah. Just pretty classic Bill Murray fun. We just had to deal with something, so that's why I didn't finish it. But yeah, definitely. I mean, it's Bill Murray, it's Randy Quaid, it's classic '80s shenanigans. You know, can't get enough of that stuff. So that was good. And then there's a thing that we all watched together. Bring
Yes.
Her Back. We hadn't talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, we got to go see Bring Her Back on, I guess it was 2 Fridays ago.
Yeah.
Or Friday, whatever.
Rewatch for me. It was
Yeah.
just as gruesome the first go
Yeah.
second
No,
go around
it
as it was
was-
the
Yeah.
first go around.
It was fun. I really appreciated what it was doing.
Yeah, I thought it was better than I was expecting. I was expecting kind of like just a meh movie with some like really great like
Yeah.
scares and stuff. And I thought like it is the kind of plot where you have to like just assume the person is kind of insane to the point of not thinking out any of the consequences to their actions, because you're kind of just like, how do you think you're going to get away with this?
Yeah. That's all I could think the entire time.
Yeah.
Is this chick just like is so sure that this plan is going to work so well, and it's like all this is, your exposure to the plan she has, like the origin is like a shitty VHS from like fucking Romania.
Yeah.
Of some just crazy shit going
It is
down.
so honestly that part's almost kind of hard to take seriously because it's so funny.
Oh yeah,
mail-in order tapes of how to do your own
And
resurrection.
So, like, clearly, you can't think this is just going to go off without a hitch. I mean,
yeah.
And also, like, the people in this shitty Romanian VHS tape, they were like, they had a staff. There's like 4 or 5 of these guys doing this shit, and this lady just doing it all on her own. But
they rehearsed it.
Yeah. No, overall, I thought it was super, super solid for what it was. I mean, it's a relatively done enough trope of this kind of a thing, but definitely had a lot of unique elements.
There are some
played.
moments that are not for the squeamish for sure.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
told you guys going into it, stop chewing on that.
Yeah.
That's the real tagline of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like 3 times we're just like, stop that.
And I also liked it because I pretty early in the movie was like kind of rolling my eyes because I hate the kind of evil child trope in horror.
Yeah.
But I liked the idea, which I don't know. Are we okay with spoilers? Right?
Yeah, we can do semi-spoilers here.
Yeah.
Spoilers for Bring Her Back.
Spoilers incoming, so
I like the idea that it's not a child. It's like a demon or an angel.
It's
or
we
something.
don't know exactly.
We don't even know.
Just like trapped in this body that's being used as like a vessel.
Could be a fucking Eldritch horror. Who knows? But yeah.
So I really like that.
And the kid's performance with
is really
that
good.
is very good.
Yeah.
For what it is.
I to the point of like I was getting a little like, do you guys like give this kid counseling after the movie? This actor's probably fucked up. Is he okay?
Yeah.
Can we do a wellness check on
Right.
this actor? He's like just covered in blood through most of the movie.
Yeah,
and-
I mean,
looking
it was
gross,
like
distended, eating people,
I mean, like you probably thought the
Eating
same thing about
things.
Linda
Yeah.
Blair.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
When
yeah.
she did The Exorcist.
I
You're at
mean,
the center of it and you're a child.
yeah, there's fucked up shit. I mean, like the kid, he can't be older than like 10 or 11?
Yeah, 10, 11-ish.
Your
something
brain
like
is
that.
like putty.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, I mean, it's like it's going back to that Mexican film that I had seen a while ago that was like following the kids that were like orphaned and shit. Like, it's not exactly that was a horror film too, but like those kids, some of those kids were like fucking 6. I mean, there's a scene of this kid that's like 6, like shooting somebody and then getting fucking shot. Like that's also like, geez. Like kids are, they can handle some shit if they're from the right context. Yeah.
Hopefully they can.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Yeah.
And then the poor brother, I really liked the character. I thought he was.
Oh,
really
I did.
Well done.
I was actually.
Oh my god, so miserable.
By close to the end, I was like, I did not think that was gonna go down like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, where are we going now?
But yeah, I liked it, and I thought this poster. It's like the main poster for the movie. It's got the hand on the boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're familiar with the artist Dave McKean, he worked a lot with Neil Gaiman.
Okay.
And he did like all of the cover art for the original Sandman comic book series.
Okay, nice.
Super reminiscent of his art style.
Yeah.
And then the plot of the movie is super reminiscent of like a Neil Gaiman horror story. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was A24, right? Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another just really solid for its genre film from A24.
Yeah.
They kill it.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw the trailer for the new one with the 2 dudes.
The 2
It
dudes.
looked good.
Hell yeah, man.
Which was Pedro Pascal and I'm blanking.
Oh, Eddington. It has Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes.
Oh
Ooh.
my god,
Yeah.
it looks really good.
They did
Pedro
look
and
really good.
Joaquin. Okay.
It takes place in like a small town
Yeah.
during COVID. Like the thrust of the movie is COVID. So
Interesting.
I'm and
I
it's
was,
from the
I was
director.
curious how long that was going to take to come
Yeah.
about. Like,
It's from Ari Aster, the director of Hereditary and Midsommar.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
And then if you've seen
The trailer said the first truly modern Western.
Yeah.
And like that's a pretty ballsy thing to say.
That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And then Paul Thomas. Honestly, this year's there's some stuff coming. I'm pretty stoked for. Paul Thomas Anderson has a new movie coming out called One Battle After Another,
Okay.
starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh well, that'll win awards.
It looks really fucking good, and it's also like I think he's like some sort of like a detective or undercover like a journalist or something trying to get into like an alt-right terrorist group. So like kind of feels like a really good double feature with stuff we're seeing in Eddington.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really excited for some of the movies coming. Like I shared in the group chat the other day, we'll be getting the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
And it looks really fun.
Watched the trailer for that, and it looks super fun. Now I will say I'm a little bummed because from the trailer you could tell that it is just full bore CGI effects,
Yeah.
like without any other than his get up.
Yeah.
It seems like from the trailer it didn't seem like there's probably going to be much practical effects at all. And that is a little disheartening for a big fan of.
What were you expecting to do with all that extra money?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Just like for a guy that's a fucking B movie head like I am, especially for the trauma films, like, come on, man. It's really not true to form to just like CGI the fuck out of everything. Because even like more modern trauma films are still like leaned into practical, and it just makes it like. You should do it when you can, like blend it. But like a lot of the effects in the trailer, like, I mean, it's just CGI. It's very like Final Destination level stuff. I mean, it's fun. It looks cool anyway. But that's the only thing I kind of bummed about is that they don't seem to be maintaining any kind of practical effects, from what I can tell.
I do like it is Peter Dinklage like in makeup. At least it looks like it. At times, it kind of looked too tall to be Peter Dinklage. Like I wonder if they had a body double,
right?
And I'm sure they do, but and then sometimes it looked like the voice like didn't necessarily match up with the face. Like maybe there is two different Toxic Avengers.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever watched the Toxic Avenger, but the whole bit at the beginning anyway is like this. I mean, the voice and everything completely changes once he becomes Toxic Avenger anyway. So it's whatever. That's not super big deal, but I do appreciate that he stays tiny. I appreciate that he stays just a super powered toxic dwarf as opposed to like, because in the first Toxic Avengers, this like, scrawny rail guy that turns into this like 7 foot tall fucking ginormous dude. So that's a fun point in the movie. But yeah, I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, bring her back.
Yeah.
That was the first time I didn't have to struggle to think about that. Remember the
Dude,
title.
the name of that movie is just fucking awful. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. Oh, it's not as awful as a movie. I did watch one other thing that was actually really not bad. This movie I expected it to be complete trash, and so I was kind of surprised that it was not bad. But the title, Plane.
Oh, is that the
Plane on Netflix?
Jared Butler movie? Yeah, that title was like. That was coming out like real in the middle of when I thought movie titles were getting like really lazy with just the one word, really non-descriptive, and just plain.
It really is.
It almost feels like a joke.
Yeah, no, it's bad on paper. Then when you watch the movie, it's just even worse because like, yes, they were on a plane, but the movie's like it. Pilot would have been better.
Yeah,
because the movie's really about the pilot and not the plane, but. No, the movie was actually pretty all right. Like, plane gets hit by lightning in mid-flight, has to emergency land, and then they have to survive a bunch of paramilitary guys on this random fucking island, and yada, 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 Fairly typical as far as that story goes, but generally pretty satisfying still for what it is, if you can just be there for what it is. One of the more accurate showings of what a 50 caliber rifle looks like. And what it can do, because a lot of the time, like, they're not just as true to weapons as they could be in film, and like it was pretty satisfying. Like, guy hunkering behind a car and like, oh yeah, I know this guy's here, blah, like, bullet goes rocks the entire vehicle, puts this guy in the air, slamming against the other vehicle. Like, yeah, that's what happens. But yeah, no, that movie was all right. I think the other lead was the guy. I'm pretty sure it was the guy that played Luke Cage, and I hadn't seen him in anything since that, so it's nice to see that. But that's the only other thing I think that's notable for me that I've watched. So whoever wants to take it from here.
Yeah. Well, you and I both watched 28 Years Later.
Yeah, we did.
We watched it separately, but we have both seen it. Reese hasn't seen it yet, so we won't spoil anything for Reese.
But we can tell you our opinion, and the opinion is shared that it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Pretty fantastic.
Like I heard that there were some mixed things. I haven't yet read what the negatives were, but
yeah,
I'm curious what people found negative. One positive I will say is after watching the movie, I do think that the trailer for 28 Years Later is the greatest trailer in the history of cinema. I just think
Are you talking about that very first one that has like no dialogue in it?
The one where you hear like where it's just a bunch of like short clips and it's like the counting.
It's like a poem or something. Yeah.
It's
like 1, 2.
Yeah. Like that trailer I think is the best trailer I've ever because watching it I thought it was cool and it made me want to watch the movie, and then watching the movie it doesn't give anything away. Which is awesome,
and it's a
if anything, it kind of like makes you think it's about something that it's not really about.
It was a great tool. In film, just the use of
a lot of trailers are fucking terrible.
Yeah, for sure. But like that stuff really, it really worked in the film for what they were doing. Like it, as such a fan of 28 Days Later, which I am, like it's top 5 films for me. Without question, like they really delivered on what I would have wanted as such a fanboy of that film, and I can't imagine any criticism of it. I mean, I can imagine what some just dumb criticism of it is. Because you can see memes on the internet already about the presence of dick in the film and, and that, but no, like actual criticism, I just can't even fathom what the real criticism would be, because it was pretty perfect for me.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of like specific details about the movie or what people are thinking. I know a lot of people the ending seems to be the kind of
point of contention.
I think that it either takes people off guard or feels unsatisfying.
If you go to the movie not knowing that there are going to be 2 more movies, the ending would totally not make sense.
Yeah.
So I think that if you go to the movie,
so it feels like I'm ready. I'm prepared.
At the same time, though, that ending, like if you didn't know there's going to be 2 more movies, when that ending happens, now you know. Now you know there's going to be something more.
Wait, but is it in the story's not over, or is it like like a cliffhanger?
No,
it's not a cliffhanger. It's okay. It's
the
like
story's not over.
They're just like, oh, here's a new thing.
Yeah, here's
because I think that's where people get upset about like Wicked or Dune, where they never really advertised it as a part 1, and so it's a cliffhanger.
It will likely.
Another thing, if you don't know the runtime of the movie, when the end of the movie happens, like as it's setting up, you kind of think like, oh, is there going to be like 45 minutes more in this movie? It kind of starts to take you down a new storyline and then just like chops it off.
Yeah, and it is like in tone, it's different. It's not to give anything away, but it's a lot more. The last scene is a lot more fun than a lot of the rest of the movie.
It's a pretty depressing film. It's definitely
it's pretty fucking dark.
Definitely
there's a little.
It's a post-apocalypse. It's everything you want from a post.
Well, so that's.
I do want to say that. Performance-wise, Ralph Fiennes is just one of the fucking greatest actors on the planet.
Oh yeah,
he kills it again in this one. He's so good.
Without question.
That's cool. And apparently, I've heard that Cillian Murphy really isn't in it.
He's not in this one. I heard a director interview the other day, or a writer interview, and they said that he would make an appearance in the second movie and then would be very prominent in the third.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm super stoked. Just like kind of like a prestige horror or a prestige zombie movie sounds just kind of sick.
Yeah, and so that's what I've always loved about the franchise, is that it's just so much more than zombies. I actually I tend to correct people when they call it a zombie movie, because it's not it's not a zombie movie. Not really.
Yeah.
Not even by a mile. Like, it's so much different than
Yeah.
zombies. Like, yes, people are out of their minds and attack people, but they're just really not zombies.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I'll say about 28 Years Later is not only was it a very entertaining movie, but the quality of filmmaking
No,
is
exactly.
just like fucking
And that's what sets
insane.
it apart, man. It's right
yeah.
back to that quality of filmmaking of 28 Days Later, and that's why, like, when people talk about 28 Weeks Later, I mean, just don't even bother. It's
Yeah.
like, it's so far removed from the quality of film that this is, and they really deliver that in 28 Years Later.
Also, I thought it's funny because I thought Ray Fiennes was like, oh, they got him back. He was in the first one, but I realized it was Christopher
Yes.
Eccleston.
No,
was the
he's
character I
very
thought
easy to.
Ray
I
Fiennes
thought that
played.
not that long ago too. Yeah, but no, it's not. It's not Ralph Fiennes.
Cool. So yeah, no real reoccurring characters then
Not
from
yet. No,
not yet.
not yet.
What about from 28 Weeks Later? Any reoccurring characters from that one?
No. No.
I don't know
reference
if
to
if they even acknowledged, if like the filmmakers of these ones even acknowledge that one.
I
as
don't.
like part
I feel
of the,
like they don't.
the canon.
You could not have seen any of the previous movies and go see this, and you would be.
I would
fine.
assume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It is
yeah.
very standalone.
Yeah. No, I mean they'd
Now,
make a wonderful.
Like, it's clearly
double-
not going to be that way by the end.
Yeah,
but-
28
Yeah.
Days Later, with this would be a wonderful double feature for sure. Like I think that'd be a fun watch back to
Yeah.
back.
And so Danny Boyle will be directing the third one, and he's producing all three of them. But then the second one is going to be directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed the 2021 Candyman movie, which I thought was a little weak as far as storytelling wise, but the filmmaking was like great. So
Right. And that's
that has
what,
me-
But it's
that's
going to be
what
written by
counts.
Alex Garland. So the
yeah,
writing
same
is not
writer,
gonna- not
director,
gonna be an
or
issue.
producer. So
Yeah.
it's really, I mean, she's really probably, like we were talking about,
Yeah.
it's going to be more of like a second unit director than
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
Right.
because they're filming them back to back to back.
As
So
long as you can get a super quality director with a good writer, then I mean that's all you really
Yeah.
need, you know.
a cohesive story is the most important
Yeah,
thing for a
for sure.
trilogy, as we saw with the sequel Star Wars films.
Yeah.
But yeah, so get out there and watch it, Reese, and
Yeah.
everybody else, get out there and watch it.
Gotta.
All right.
Anything else for you,
That's
John?
that's me. Yeah, you guys can take it away.
Well, the only thing I watched before Bring Her Back in these 2 weeks was the other thing I was complaining about last episode. I went and saw Ballerina,
Yeah,
and
you
it
did watch it, and it was exactly what
exactly
you
what I thought it was going to
exactly,
be.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
I
You
thought
really
it
don't
was-
need to watch that.
No,
movie.
I
like-
only went because a friend invited me, and he wanted to see it, and he wanted someone to see it with, and then I invited another friend. So it was nice. Saw it with a couple buddies.
Yeah,
But yeah, oof.
That's
Like
yeah.
about 35 minutes in, I was like, yeah, I get it. You can kill whoever you want,
yeah,
however you want, with whatever you
yeah.
want.
Oh wait,
That's awesome.
I
now
haven't
there's
seen
John
it.
Wick, and now you're fighting John Wick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I did randomly have a guy next to me at the bar last week ask me if I had seen it, and I said no. Or he asked me if I liked John Wick movies, and I said no. And he's like, "Oh, well, me and my daughter just went. I just took my daughter to see it last night. We both loved it."
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna love this movie.
It's just going to turn into. I mean, maybe you'd like it more if you hadn't seen any of the John Wick movies, because then you're just like, I'm not tired of this yet.
Yeah.
Could be.
I don't know. I think there's like that modern action template is.
It just seems like a
it's
soft
just
version
fucking
of
tired.
retread.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just tired, man.
I had the same feeling about that as when I saw that like Megan 2.0 trailer.
I mean, that movie
That's-
looks, at least it's taking risks. It looks
What?
It
Megan
looks
2
kind of crazy and stupid,
The
but at
Megan
least it looks
2.0 movie
funny.
Looks like the
Ah.
worst piece of shit I've ever
I
seen.
can't.
I would
can't.
The
rather-
trailer's all like this bitch versus that bitch.
I would
It's
rather
like,
watch
what?
Megan than Ballerina.
Now, I
I
mean,
mean, or
that
Ballerina
might be
2.
true.
yeah,
2.0,
no, that's
you know?
that's true enough. I would
Yeah.
watch. I would agree with that, but
I would probably
that
hate
still
every
looks-
minute, but I would feel nothing with the
that
John
still
Wick movie.
looks really bad.
You'll get a couple laughs out of
Because
Megan. at
I
least.
did not hate the first one.
I haven't seen
like
the
it
first
wasn't great by any means, but I had no real problem with it. It was fine. I
Yeah.
thought it was fine, and it played still a degree like a horror film. And then like everything from that trailer is just like And again, it's a cultural thing.
It looked more
That's
like
culture.
a family action
That's
movie.
culture
Yeah.
that I just don't like. Like
Yeah.
just the white girl bullshit culture. Like I just can't get behind that.
You're gonna
And
ruling on that?
Yeah, sorry for whoever might listen and be offended. Like, I just don't. I can't jive. With
I mean,
that
it looks
shit.
the 2. The Megan 2.0. It looks like it could be leading to a crossover with Alita Battle Angel. It looks like it's going like full sci-fi, like
Yeah,
end
no,
of world
it's
shit.
completely ridiculous.
The trailer has like a kind of like a smutty reality TV.
The
vibe
constant,
to it.
Yeah.
the constant running of the Britney Spears song and just everything about it. I mean,
I think that was supposed to be ironic.
Yeah,
sure,
but you can still get tired of it.
still makes me
Yeah.
vomit in my mouth. Like again,
It
like
did.
The with the ballerina shit too, and John Wick is not a cameo in it. He's like fully in the last half of the movie
for sure. Yeah.
Um,
So it's still just John
Just a
fucking
John
Wick.
Wick
Yeah.
movie. They just try to make him.
I mean,
seem-
it is in the world
little
of
bit
John
of
Wick
mystery.
after
Yeah.
Yeah.
all.
From the world of John Wick.
And she is like fully just killing whoever she wants. Like nobody can stop her. And then as soon as John Wick shows up, you're like, well, I know nobody can beat John Wick. So if they get in a fight, of course he's going to win. And then you get in a fight, and of course he wins
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And then he's like, and then you're just like, well, of course. So now he just has to exit the movie because otherwise she won't be able to complete her mission if John Wick can just be there to
And
stop
I'm sure
her.
it's in the most
So then he
cliche
just
way.
leaves.
Yeah.
He's literally hired to come kill her.
There's some real spoilers in this.
He beat. I don't give a shit.
No,
Don't
you
go see
don't
this
need.
movie.
Yeah, no, you
I
can
just
watch
like-
the trailer and know what's happening.
You know that.
I feel like anybody that wants to see that movie has probably seen the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like she's on a mission to kill this one guy, and that one guy hires John Wick to come kill her. So well, of course. Well,
Do they
the only
fuck?
way that they don't, surprisingly, he's
I
too.
didn't figure they would. That would
See,
not be in
He's
character.
too John Wick.
That is the other thing
You know, if
that
they
I'm
did,
getting
that would be something different.
That would be something different. I'm getting so tired of how sexless modern blockbusters are becoming.
Yeah.
Where like even
Yeah, they're afraid of it. I think.
yeah, they are. Well,
Yeah.
younger people seem to be like. Remember Oppenheimer? People
Uh-huh.
were so pissed off that there was nudity in that movie. It's like grow fucking up.
Yeah.
Like life has sex in it.
Well, dude, and also like
like-
Keanu Reeves is now just like he's marketed on social media as like the most nice,
Yeah,
just polite,
like the nice guy.
sexless guy and
Yeah.
all this jazz, and so I think he's just keeping up with this shit too at
But,
this
like,
point because you just you can't
mean,
fuck around.
Fast and Furious, Marvel, John Wick. Like all of these giant franchises, literally the most they'll
You know
do
Marvel's not gonna have sex in it.
is show like a person in a bikini and someone will go whoa, and like
Yeah.
that's it. And then beyond that, there's barely even like a couple kissing. It feels like some form of like sanitization of life. Or
Yeah,
some shit.
and
And
so-
I'm not asking for like full on fucking scenes, right? These are mostly PG-13.
Yeah.
Well,
movies.
just make.
Just don't be
Well, I
afraid
think
of it.
what we want is just a thing to be human, and like you can go
Yeah.
too far or go too little with either end of the spectrum, But yeah, we just want something genuine, and when you like purposefully seem to be dancing around it and just
yeah.
consciously omitting it as a choice,
It's-
that's kind of the more
When
the
it's
issue.
it's not just the characters aren't having sex. I don't get the feeling that any of these characters like know what sex is.
Right.
like
Yeah.
when Vin Diesel in a
They only
Fast
know
and
how to
Furious.
murder people.
Yeah.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
They
When
don't
Vin-
even eat.
When Vin Diesel in a Fast
Sex
and
out,
Furious
murder in.
movie looks at a woman, I literally think the character's going, "Whoa, boobies!" Like that's it. He's like a
Right.
50-year-old man who's like actually not interested in the physical acts of sex. It's just
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, tits!" Like,
That's
it's just so strange.
Yeah.
It's really just the action genre, man. Like
Yeah.
so, like they don't eat.
No,
they
it's
don't-
just-
they don't piss.
Yeah,
they
it's just
don't
lean
sleep.
fully into it's just murder, murder,
Yeah.
murder.
It is so
Kung
strange.
Fu, a lot of kung fu, murder,
when I was
gunfight,
like
kung fu, murder, gunfight.
like 14, 15, I was going to church. The pastor's family, they were like pretty liberal with the movies they were allowed to watch. They were allowed to watch like any amount of violence, any amount of like language, but of course they weren't allowed to watch anything with like a bare butt in it. It's just like I don't care if the youngest, I think their youngest daughter was like 10, and her favorite movie was Hostile, which is just like literally torture porn movie.
Oh, Hostel.
Hostel,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those things are fucking
And like,
terrible.
I don't get the fucking concept.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the violence is fake, but it looks very real.
Yeah.
If there's sex in a movie, the most you're seeing is
Yeah.
like a boob.
But the thing
You
is,
know,
like,
it's not even like
violence is just the most like it's humanity's pastime.
Unless you go
Yeah.
see 28
It's
years
like
later,
it's
you'll
like
see lots of
baseball.
dong.
Oh yeah, you will see. That's the one.
which
That's,
is why it's a big fucking deal on the internet. Why are there dicks all over my
Yeah.
movie? They're
well,
not supposed to be in my movie.
It's funny because like there are like plural dicks all over that movie, but you don't really see plural dicks. You see one dick. Like, there's a very big dick that's very present in a lot of scenes, just rocking out.
Rocking out with your cocking
I
out.
do,
Which is still-
I guess
it's
since
just
we're going
kinda
back to this,
funny.
I will say I like that concept because it is 30 years after the zombie outbreak. A lot of these zombies have been walking around for close to 30 years. Like, yeah, their clothes would be like there would be like nothing
Yeah,
Yeah.
or very little left.
yeah.
of them.
You can make an argument that they should have some rags, but they wouldn't have.
I mean,
I mean, if
there-
you
there
were
was
not
some amount.
intentionally keeping clothes on your body, I think
Yeah,
they
it
would
would-
go
yeah.
away pretty fast.
Well, and since these motherfuckers just basically just scream and run at things through
Yeah.
woods and shit, like
Yeah.
it's
Through
gonna-
water,
it's
probably,
gonna get
right?
caught. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be naked in a
Yeah.
matter of years, I would think.
But yeah,
Couple
no,
years.
it's I agree. It's kind of funky. I mean, that's like the sexual things always. It feels like it just swings to and fro. and,
Yeah.
you know, one environment for one decade is
Well,
like
it's
way too
it's
Got on
also
a
into
hot
it.
topic here.
it feels like as somewhat of a feminist movement and queer affirming movement, we are trying to move towards a more sex positive culture, but it's still in so much pop culture and even not
Well,
even
so
TV shows.
The
It's
thing
like
is,
literally
the thing is,
movies.
it's just that has made it a very weird landscape to navigate because it's more of like what is sex positivity, what is appropriate, what is, you know, like smutty and exploitative
Yeah.
versus what's celebrating
Yeah.
sexual positivity.
Well,
you know, like
and
it's very gray areas.
Yeah,
and
that's-
people can
it's a marketing
argue.
thing.
People can
Yeah, it's a
argue all
marketing
day about
decision.
these things, and so I think that a lot of these companies are just like, well, we can't figure what the fuck is
Yeah.
the new thing right now, so we're just gonna go blank,
Yeah.
so we don't have any risk because it's just so hard. It's so easy to offend one party versus another party when really like it really shouldn't be that offensive to either. It's just really muddy waters right
Yeah.
now, and I think that's what it is.
I feel more comfortable with sex scenes in modern movies than ever because I know now they have like the fucking intimacy coordinators, like people who are professionally there to make sure things are
Right.
done ethically and safely.
Right,
Like,
right.
I feel better about sex on film than
Well,
if I
yeah,
go back and
but
watch a
it's-
movie from the 90s.
It's
I'm like,
it's still just
"Ooh."
and it's still just a matter of like the perception of the audience and the people
Yeah.
watching and perception of the stories. Like it's just there's a lot of things swinging a lot of different ways right now as far as that goes. Because again, it's like, you know, favorite example of this in modern times is like the OnlyFans thing. You know, like
Yeah.
this is exploitative. This is celebrating their sexual independence, and it's like that's all a matter of perspective to each individual from either end of the spectrum of perception.
Yeah.
You know, so shit's just weird. We're figuring it out. I
Yeah.
think just big companies don't want to fucking.
I just want to
piss
see
anybody off.
more tits on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But then somebody's going to
I'm
be like,
generally with you
"No,
on
there's
that."
too many tits on the big screen."
I think most of
I-
our listeners
I feel
would,
like-
agree.
Literally every movie that wins Best Picture, regardless of the quality, is going to have a bit of pushback of like, actually, it sucks. But I feel like any negative reaction I saw to Nora was like, the movie's literally just porn.
Yeah.
We're like, really? That's only in the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie is,
Yeah,
is
Well,
It's really the
Yeah.
first 40% of the movie.
But,
Yeah,
but
not
that's,
even
but
full
the thing
half.
is, like, and I have no problem with that in the movie, and I really like that film. But to me, that's a good example of like just almost the idea, because like, yeah, it's put it forward, it's relevant to the story, and that matters. But at the same time, it's like there's like a lot of wasted time on that. Like, make it
I
present.
don't think it's wasted
make
time.
it graphic.
I think that it builds for the end of the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it does, but there's still just
I don't feel
how much is needed for the building, because it did build, and I thought that a lot of it was perfectly fine, but then some of it just felt pretty like just the actually. So what I would say for that film specifically, the thing that I thought was just too much was like the stripper dance that she did for him before shit kind of popped off.
Yeah.
Like that was like a lot of it was still like developing our perception of her perception of his feelings about the hypothetical relationship they were in, and like it worked, but then there's just like this good 5-minute scene of basically just a stripper dance for like not really like that really didn't do anything. So I'm just saying it's like a fine line, and so I can understand some amount of criticism, and but I can also see the opposite of that. So
Yeah. I don't know. More sex in movies.
Yeah.
just make it earn
So,
it, make it honest. Is all
yeah,
I think. As long as it's
Somehow he gets a
genuine.
ballerina to sex in
No,
movies.
it's like no. If I mean, literally, the sex version of John Wick is literally porn, right? I don't want to go to the theater and see porn.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I want sex in movies, but I want it to be meaningful,
Yeah.
or add to the story, or gorgeously shot. You know?
yeah. No, it should be relevant at all
Yeah.
times, and it should add, and it should be honest and earnest most of all. Like that's when it's really powerful. That's when it matters. You know.
Yeah. It just
And that's
it
a fine
feels
line.
childish
Yeah.
when you're like fully just ignoring the existence of sex.
Yeah.
It
Well,
feels
it-
like this is a cartoon. we're
It feels
watching.
Yeah.
it feels childish one
I
way or
mean,
the other, because it feels
the Marvel
childish if you
movies-
ignore it, and
I
it
mean,
feels
Marvel
for
movies
me.
are cartoons,
and it
you
also
know?
feels just as childish if you just lean into just like the obnoxious, like just like, oh, there's fucking tits and ass everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it feels childish in a different way then. You know, like
Well,
it
that's
feels
just
adolescent
like
then, you
or
know.
some of those movies, those like '90s. We're like, bro, there's tits everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's like fucking Wild Things, you know, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm even thinking of like really. I mean, the only one that I can name is it's called Miss March, or is it Miss April, Miss May? I don't know. I think it's Miss March.
Miss Month.
Miss Month. Yeah.
Miss something.
Those kind of like early 2000s. I think one of them was literally called Sex Drive.
Yeah.
Just like bottom of the barrel. It's
Yeah.
two or three guy friends just talking about how much they fucking love tits, and it's like,
yeah,
wow,
how much pussy they
nothing
can
to this
smash.
movie.
Yeah, no, it's a fine line, man. But yeah,
Movies
no,
that were like trying to cash in on Superbad, but like
Yeah.
Superbad was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
actually really funny.
yeah, no, just full admittance is not good. Just fucking slathering it all over the place is also not good. So
Yeah.
just again, honesty.
Yeah.
Make it a human thing. Which
Make
like
it
Poor
ethically.
Things is
Yeah,
a great
Poor
example
Things.
of that. Like there's so much of it, but it's so goddamn just true and honest and relevant.
And like casual, it like
Yeah,
you get
like-
a little desensitized to it,
Yeah.
to like Emma Stone's tits in that movie.
Well, it's the beauty of that is that it's never about like it's about the tits to the character, but it's not about the tits to the viewer of the film,
Yeah,
to the story. You
Yeah.
know, like they're a prop. Like they make tits a prop in that movie.
yeah,
Basically, you know, they make sex a prop in that movie.
Yeah, they should make
Use
more
it.
movies like that.
Yeah.
yeah. Why aren't all movies as good as Poor Things?
Well, yeah.
That's a good question.
Get better.
I've been going on a streak with queer films because it's June. Queer made films, queer related films, just lots of fun. I've been mostly like sticking in the 90s, a lot of rewatches, but just some real campy fun movies. I watched a real small little like indie comedy, the Incredible True Adventure of Two Girls in Love. It was really heartwarming.
I've seen that.
Yeah. There's like nobody you'd know in it, except for like maybe two character actors. Laurel Holloman and Nicole Ari Parker are the leads. But yeah, just a really cute little like rom-com, real small town stuff. I really liked it. I rewatched But I'm a Cheerleader, which is even better on the second viewing. Love that movie.
I wanted to watch that rewatch it for a while. I watched that, I think, not that long after it came out, and like, yeah, that movie was fantastic, and it's been in the back of my mind to rewatch for a long time.
So good. Love it. I watched Saved from 2004. It's real similar vibes, but it's like a Christian private high school, and very, very fun. Great cast. Jenna Malone, Macaulay Culkin. It was like the last movie Macaulay Culkin did before he like kind of disappeared.
Just disappeared for fucking 20 years.
Yeah. Which, I think he's really turned, like, I was just talking about him with somebody. I feel like he's like, he had a period there where he was looking like a meth addict.
Yeah.
But I think he's, like, really turned his shit around and seems to be really enjoying life right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to be in the next season of Fallout.
Something like that. Yeah, I know he's
so.
like, actually restarting his acting career. There's a 2-part documentary series on HBO called Pee-wee as Himself about Paul Rubens. It was like honestly really well done and more, it just really made you appreciate Paul Rubens as like an artist.
Yeah, I would watch that because he's always been
good things.
I've always been really interested just in what he is. And
this would really make you like him.
Like there's so much assumed misperception of him.
Yeah, and like it goes over all the times he had like real negative run-ins with like the media and the law, and they're both times like just totally misconceptions or like fully like police brutality and just like fucking disgusting, TMZ behavior of the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
Oh, but then he talked about in that movie, and it's only about 3 hours long. It's not bad. One of the movies he did in the 90s, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, which I rewatched recently and totally did not even connect that was him.
Yeah. Yeah, so I rewatched that again. So funny. Also, the cast is kind of insane.
Forgot Rutger Hauer was the fucking big bad. And, like,
Donald
totally
Sutherland. Hilary Swank is like must have been like her second or third movie. David Arquette, Stephen Root is in it, but so funny. Really enjoyed that.
The least threatening vampires of all time. Like literally, they're just like
well, like literally the scene where she stabs Paul Rubens' character. He's like he falls and then gets back up. Very
he actually dies, right? Like, it's like
it literally comes back up at the end of the credits.
Yeah,
he's still going like
so he's just like fucking around.
Yeah, it was a fun watch.
I went to see the Materialists with my sister in theaters. I did also realize it's just called Materialists, not The Materialists, which is a much better title.
Yeah.
It's on my list too.
And talking about things like conceptions or misconceptions or preconceptions of movies kind of hurting your feelings. I thankfully got to go into this knowing full well it is not at all a rom-com, and I really loved it. Yeah. I liked. Obviously, it can't really live up to Past Lives. That's like a once in a career film from a filmmaker. But I really enjoyed it, and I definitely get. It's not at all a rom-com.
So I actually went to a party this weekend and was talking to this couple, Jamie.
Yeah.
And like, we went to see this movie and it was so god awful. I'm like, did you see Materialists?
Yeah.
She's like, how did you know? I'm like, it was just a guess. And she's like, oh, I love Dakota Johnson, but we were watching. I was like, do we walk out? And I was like, yeah, I get where you get that. And she's like, did you like it? And I'm like, I liked it, but like I didn't like it as well as Past Lives.
Yeah,
and
I get it's a really I don't
know. Saying I like it is, I like things about it. There are problems with the movie for me.
Yeah.
The first one being I never really understood if Dakota Johnson was good.
I mean, the character literally says multiple times in the movie she thinks she is she knows she's a piece of shit.
I'm saying good as an actress.
Oh, well, that's just like
and like watching this film, I think it's her best performance that I've seen.
Yeah,
but her character was so unlikable that I kind of had an issue with that.
Well, if you're already going in on the fence with Dakota Johnson and she's playing an unlikable character, you're probably not going to have.
It is kind of rough. I don't know. And also the whole bit where she's like a matchmaker, that just like, it's like, hey, oh yeah, you're the matchmaker. It's like, this just doesn't seem like reasonable dialogue to me.
That kind of stuff, I realized pretty early on that if that shit exists, I'm sure it does. She's basically living in such a different tax bracket from me that it's almost like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
And I know it
that's,
exists.
That's a fair perspective. Yeah,
She
that's a
says
good
at one point
perspective.
she's making $800K a year,
Yeah,
but she still has debt. She
Yeah.
still doesn't see herself as like well off
yeah.
because she lives in New York City.
And which
you know?
is like, that's probably, from what you've told me about the
Yeah.
film, what I've heard, what we've talked about the film, that seems like the point
Yeah.
of the film.
But it is a movie
like,
called
kind of
Materialist, so you
honing
can't
in
get
on
too
that.
mad at it.
Yeah.
I just thought I don't know, man. Something about just the whole matchmaker thing, and that's cool. That's what she is. But like, I don't like, I don't know, the dialogue, man. It's like, oh yeah, you're the matchmaker, and it's like they just use that word too many times.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
I know a lot of people have had issues with like the very like not necessarily robotic, but just like the spouting off the like, oh, is he 6'2"? And oh, does he make $400K? And just like everyone like swapping it around all the time, And
But I
but
mean,
again,
like,
that's
the main
just,
character breaks up with her boyfriend because he's poor.
But that again, that's
Like-
But yeah,
that sounds
that's the
like-
point of the character.
That sounds like the point of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
I
is-
think
is
if you
to
look
shine
at
a
it like an
light on
American
this.
Psycho, but instead of doing whatever job he's doing in American
Yeah.
Psycho,
Yeah.
he's doing
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the actor's name, but the Captain America guy that's in it.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. So like, so here's the problem with Chris Evans' character. He's one guy in the movie that actually is a likable guy,
Yeah.
except for the fact that like he's like potentially a love partner for this main character, and like
He's like
he's
poor,
just
like
she's just
poor,
like
actually
so
poor.
bad. She's so bad for him, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like he could do better. Like he's
Yeah.
actually a nice guy.
Yeah,
and
so
she's
does-
But
kind
I
of a
mean,
piece
that's
of
like
shit.
that's the point of his character
Does
is
he
like
pine for her?
he is like
the
deep,
entire-
like deeply in love with her to the point of
But not
he
like
can't
puppy
actually,
dog sick. He's just kind of like, well, you're gonna do your thing, Like, so
Yeah. Well,
the
so-
character is very like
He's an artist,
blatantly
and he's very-
resigned to the fact that he does love her, but if he keeps pursuing her, that he's just going to make himself miserable
So
or
as long
depressed
for
or-
me, like I haven't watched this movie yet, which I plan on watching it. I'm especially after this episode for sure. But I would get annoyed if that character were like seeking, like hunting, like going for her.
It
'Cause,
is
like,
well to an extent he is, but like at
That-
one
that
point
could
she's
get pretty
like she
frustrating.
invites him up to her apartment and he's like, I really want to, but I know I can't, and so he
Yeah.
drives off. Like he's literally trying to
Okay.
protect himself
Yeah.
from her,
yeah,
but
That's-
she
that's
keeps
good.
kind of like
And so
Yeah,
the whole
that
the whole
letting
time
him
you're
on.
like hoping that this genuine guy is like, man, he's really genuine. I hope that he doesn't end up with her at the end because that would be shit for him.
Yeah.
But
You know?
it just felt so real though and relatable. I know exactly that kind of like if a certain person came back into my life, I would have to be pretty like, clear, like, okay, now we can reconnect here, but I need to be on the same page
that,
of
that,
what
that
we're
could
going to
get
get.
frustrating for me, just seeing that like the character, the one decent character in the film, still just like falling over himself and pining for this person that's obviously a piece of shit. That would annoy me in the storytelling
No.
quite a bit. Like I'd get kind of tired of that after a while.
One more thing I'm going to say about this movie is the opposite of 28 Years Later. It might be actually the worst trailer of all time.
Yeah.
Because the trailer makes it look like a bubbly
Oh
rom-com.
yeah, no, dude.
The trailer is like if you made a parody making fun of rom-coms. It is that level
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
literally
yeah.
has the, well, she's a matchmaker, but can she find love for herself? Like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
fuck were they thinking?
Yeah.
I know
Well, I'll
So
tell you-
many
so
upset
here's the
people
thing.
after watching that trailer
Here's
and
the
going to
thing.
watch this movie.
My couple friend that went to see it and hated it. They saw the trailer, and the trailer sold them on the.
That's
on the
what I was
movie.
talking about.
Exactly.
She,
Like,
she was excited because she loves Dakota Johnson and was so excited to
And
go
I
and
get
watch
that.
a rom com
Yeah.
with Dakota Johnson.
That's
and
some
just-
dirty shit,
It
really.
is, it is
It
actually
is.
a fucking.
That's some dirty
Just so you know,
shit.
not only is it not a rom com, it is kind of a depressing movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like, you will
Yeah.
walk away kind of like questioning.
There's
like,
there's
life,
also
That's
like
an awful bait and switch.
I
to
mean,
do.
like
It really
trigger
is.
warning for some stuff too. It gets into like some topics of like sexual assault and stuff
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
there's some
Yeah.
sad moments in the movie, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that trailer was just.
It's another.
It was
Honestly, I
it-
think it's
it
been
goes
kind of
hard.
A24 lately. Their trailers, some of their trailers for these, and I get the movie
They're
itself.
trying to sell the movie, but they're trying
What
to
do
sell
you-
the movie to everyone instead of
Yes,
Yeah, and they
instead of
shouldn't be
the
doing
regular
that,
audience.
yeah.
And because it
You're
is,
just gonna piss people off.
it
at that
is
point.
kind of just like a drama. And outside of award season, I don't know how you would pitch the movie as in, like, because studios love to just pick a genre for a movie, right? That's not drama, right? It has to be comedy, horror, it has to be one of those genres. And drama is not one that studios seem to be very comfortable pitching right now, especially outside of award season. So, like, as a summer movie, how do you pitch this movie? I don't know. Just don't fucking lie.
Don't put all your
Well-
funny and most charming
I feel
parts
like-
into the
I
trailer.
don't make it look like literally the opposite of what it is.
At this point, A24 should be beyond pitching,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I feel like for this.
You never
They
know
can-
who's behind these
they can
trailers.
make-
Though. Sometimes they're just
Well,
trailers.
no, and they're beholden to people. They're beholden to people.
They have to greenlight it. I don't blame
shit like
the
that.
filmmakers. Like, I
No,
don't
not
sing
at all.
song.
No,
It's
no.
the studios, right?
And it's
But, like,
and it's a frustrating thing because like they should just like, just it's a sad situation if
Yeah.
the people with the money behind these things are that money hungry to just willingly and shamelessly bait and switch people on something that is just not.
and then end up
what
shooting
it
themselves in the
is.
foot because then, like, you get
Yeah, exactly.
maybe a higher return the first week, and then it drops to nothing because
Yeah.
everyone's like, "No, this wasn't what
Yeah,
I thought
and
it was."
nobody's
It
gonna
sucks.
watch it again, and
Even
like,
if it's a great movie. Like,
no, it should be-
there's been a few others like that this year, and like Death of a Unicorn, I felt like
yeah, oh,
they
yeah.
couldn't really pick a direction of how to market it, if they just gone straight comedy horror, then it probably would have done really well.
Yeah,
Ugh, annoying.
frustrating.
But I do recommend Materialist. Just go
I
into
would
it
say
with
if you haven't seen
proper
Past Lives, I
expectations.
would recommend watching Past Lives instead because I think it's just a better movie.
Yeah, but they're both getting into really personal, real,
Yeah.
and relatable relationship dynamics that I'm very interested to see artists tackle.
Sure,
And I
Yeah.
like that.
I think culturally, I'd be an amount like definitely a blockage for me with the characters in this thing.
Yeah, it did.
But-
Like, literally, I had to stop myself a couple times. Like, these are fucking aliens. Like, they're
Yeah, and like I said,
bajillionaires. They
it's
do
not
not
that, like-
have the same relationship with money as you do.
It's not that all the characters are bad. They're not all materialists. But like the characters that aren't, like, just get the fucking shaft in this movie.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
that's why I was saying, like, for me, if I were to watch this, from what I've gleaned from you guys, like if the Chris Evans nice guy character is an artist and he spends any amount of time pining for this woman that's living in this other financial fucking tier and all that, like, that, to me, that's just like, I would just get so fucking annoyed at that because,
Yeah.
like, for me personally, as an artist, I hate that segment of human society, and to have to watch some artists be like drawn into that, I would get just personally really.
Oh, and that's the other
irritated
thing.
with that,
I don't.
you know?
It does not come off to me at all like. Isn't it hard being rich? That's
Yeah.
not. It's just
Yeah.
like a story involving these people.
Yeah.
If anything, it's showing how fucking miserable it
Oh,
is because, like, they are like, guys, it's really not that hard to fall in love.
yeah, for sure.
It's like
You're stopping
kind of
yourself.
her matchmaker job is kind of what does it. It's like,
Yeah.
like breaking it down, like, like, I'm not good enough for you because you're like an 8 and I'm like a 6 or what,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah, fucking anime power level. You'll never defeat me. I'm a fucking.
dude,
I'm an S tier. You're only a B. Oh shit.
I watched a documentary on Disney Plus about the making of a Goofy movie. If either of you are familiar with that, the documentary is called "Not Just a Goof."
It's been a while. Since
I
I've
personally
watched
think a Goofy movie is kind of a masterpiece in franchise
it.
filmmaking.
I have like almost no recollection of it, but from what little
A
bit that I
Goofy
can
movie,
remember, like I do remember it probably being like way higher.
It
tier
is-
than you can look at it and assume it is.
If you hear there's a movie about Goofy, the Disney character Goofy, right? The movie is like so much more than what it
No, it's like
had
a real
to be.
family drama.
It's
right?
like literally using the archetype of Goofy as like a relatable archetype, as like, wouldn't it be really hard for you as a teenage kid if Goofy was your dad? And it works.
And wouldn't it be really hard to be Goofy with a teenage kid?
How the fuck would Goofy parent someone? He's fucking Goofy.
This guy has no idea what's going on.
But the animation's great. There's several. It's like, I mean, they call it a musical, but ultimately it's got like maybe 5 songs throughout.
Sure.
But they're all really good songs. And then the documentary is also it was just very nice to watch the history of the movie and stuff, and how it got to be something more than just a Goofy movie. So yeah, I watched them back to back, the documentary and then rewatched the movie. I watched Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but it was way better than I was expecting. It's like really fun. It was kind of like,
I would be really intrigued to watch that movie again.
You should rewatch it. And you know, obviously there's some things that haven't aged the best because it's a 90s movie about gay people and trans people. But like it is really like kind-spirited and like and cute and actually I felt similar about another one I'll talk about later. But like really well-intentioned and almost like not dehumanizing to drag queens really at all, besides turning them a little bit into characters, you know, but it's a movie.
Which, I mean, also drag queens are
I mean that's what they are.
They're characters, man. Like that's not a slight against them. Like it's the whole bit.
But I found it was really similar to like Elvira, the Elvira movie, and like queer person comes to a small town and just saves everyone.
Yeah.
Just like,
that's a movie that I've kind of forgot about because I remember watching that with my family, with my mom, my sister, and I always respected it. I never thought anything ill of that film. I'd like to watch that again.
Yeah. Last year, Luca Guadagnino, yep.
Yeah,
the director. He directed "Call Me by Your Name" and "Challengers." Mm-hmm. Very, very great filmmaker. He had a movie last year with Daniel Craig. Yeah, he had he actually. That's right. Challengers came out last year, right? So he had 2 movies come out last year, and Queer had Oscar buzz, but it really just I think fell by the wayside come award season. It's called Queer, starring Daniel Craig. It's based on a book by William S. Burroughs. Really, really trippy movie, but like fantastic filmmaking, just gorgeous cinematography. All of the performances are great. Highly recommend it. It's on HBO right now if you want to watch it. And then the last thing I watched just last night, another little gem of past queer films. I watched Partners, starring Ryan O'Neal and John Hurt. This is from 1982. The plot is Ryan O'Neal is a cop and John Hurt is a gay cop, and they need to go undercover as a gay couple to try and solve a murder mystery.
Do they fall in love?
They don't fall in love.
Oh, okay.
There's a couple points where it almost feels like it's going that way, but Ryan O'Neal his character stays kind of like butch and masculine the whole time, and very much not approving of that queer lifestyle. I mean, he turns into an ally by the end.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. But it's basically like an Odd Couple movie. Again, like more heartwarming and cute than I was expecting. Yeah. And
honestly, like just the idea of like John Hurt,
he's great
playing that. Sounds just so fun.
Yeah,
I mean, John Hurt's.
And they definitely get
like he's one of the most gangster actors we've had.
Yeah.
In any lifetime. So I'd love to watch that.
He's very cute and charming in the movie, and they definitely get a little carried away with the hand gestures.
Oh, sure.
The effeminates and stuff. But
I mean, you know, there's a lot of people that's very much part of.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the culture are very, very naturally effeminate, and like it's not. It's not unaccurate.
Yeah, definitely had plenty of stuff that did not age well, and it didn't take a ton of risks, I felt, with the storytelling. But ultimately, I thought it was a pretty fun and cute movie. I enjoyed it.
Right on. All right.
Okay.
So that leaves us to Mr. Holler.
see.
What is
TV, I don't think I've really been starting anything new.
Yeah.
All right, you guys covered almost all my shit. The only other thing I had is I went to see How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So I think for the first time I can say, well, second time, the Jungle Book movie was pretty good too. But we've been bitching a lot about these animated films being turned into live action, and I feel like this one hit.
Well, I think there's plenty that probably because Lilo and Stitch was pretty well received, right?
I don't know if it was well received.
Yeah, that's
it
what I
made
heard
a shit ton of money.
That's what I heard from people. But I mean, some of them are definitely gonna hit. My only thing with it is just that it's a lot of the time superfluous or just unnecessary.
And that's what I seem to understand about the new How to Train Your Dragon movie, is that unlike a lot of the Disney ones, it is basically just a shot-for-shot remake of the animated movie.
Yeah.
Not really anything new.
Yeah,
I'm generally not a fan of that, but I don't know. I dug it.
Yeah.
I mean,
thought it was good.
see, that's like
Well, it's
the
just a
story
shot-for-shot
works. So, like, if
remake
you
of a-
remake the same exact story, of course it'll
if
still
it's a
work.
because I remember it being a good story from. I only watched that film once, but I remember it being
And the one guy even
good.
played the same character that he voiced, which was cool. So,
Yeah, I think it's just like
Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler, yeah.
it's just the same movie.
And honestly, every character looked the same except for the girl.
Yeah.
Like the love interest of the main dude. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I assumed it would be acceptable. I mean, I didn't think that it would be bad. It's just one of those things where it's just like, why? I just don't see what. And so I think it works for you because why you don't like animated stuff is because you're not seeing an individual, a person actually perform most of the
I don't
time.
know. I like the originals too. So I like the cartoons.
Okay, I'm just saying, a lot of the time, that's I from our experience watching films together, you have a harder time with animated stuff because you're not actually watching an individual perform, and it's a little bit different. So, taking a good story that's animated and then actually giving you performances to watch, I could see how you dig it a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I wouldn't mind seeing a big, fun fantasy epic in theaters. So, I feel like if I don't see it now in theaters, I'll never see it because I want to see. If I want to see it, I want to see a big fantasy epic with dragons in theaters.
Yeah, it was a good time. The dragons look like exactly the same as the guy because they basically are. So.
yeah. CGI for CGI.
Yeah.
All right.
Any TV?
Yeah, I've just been on the same things. I've been catching up on Hell on Wheels. Late to the party on it, but it's so fucking good.
Still good.
I dig it a lot, and I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, that brings us
To the features.
to
And it was Reese's week.
Yeah. So I went, like I said last time, I wanted to do something appropriate for Pride Month. I did a queer filmmaker double feature. I did from 1999, directed by Pedro Almodovar, All About My Mother. Letterboxd says the plot is, following the tragic death of her teenage son, Manuela travels from Madrid to Barcelona in an attempt to contact the long estranged father the boy never knew. She reunites with an old friend, an unspoken transgender sex worker, and befriends a troubled actress and a pregnant HIV-positive nun.
Oh, they just throw that right in there from the get-go, huh?
Full disclosure. Here we go.
And the tagline is, part of every woman is a mother, actress, saint, sinner, and part of every man is a woman.
So, I feel like
That sounds better in Spanish.
Yeah, it's much more eloquent, I'm sure. I would have probably rather have just known the tagline to the film, and I would have watched it on the tagline. But I would have felt disserviced by the actual description.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it because I didn't know anything about this movie when you picked it.
Me either. Honestly, I really knew is Pedro Almodovar, and I know that he loves making movies about his childhood and his mom.
Yeah,
so.
it was. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I would have. I don't think I would have needed to know all those specifics.
No, it's. I mean, that's just. I mean, really, that's just a genre of art filmmakers, right? Like, you don't need a plot summary going into, like, I don't know, a classic Kubrick movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a Kubrick movie. Just
No,
go
exactly.
watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you trust a
Same with Wes
filmmaker,
Anderson, like
Wes Anderson,
any big time.
you're not going to be more or less interested in Grand Budapest Hotel if I give you a plot summary, right?
Yeah, no,
if you're not
exactly.
interested in it, then just move on.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure,
It's
for
like,
sure.
well, it's about a guy who runs a hotel.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go watch it.
Yeah, you don't really give a shit.
Just
yeah.
know that you're in trusted hands,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Which, yeah, I think not knowing anything. I mean, the only thing I guess I would say I was expecting is I assumed it was a little autobiographical on his part, and then the son character dies right away. So I was like, well, I don't think it's autobiographical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have found his films to be almost not exactly slice of life, but they tend to not have a very traditional structure in like a, you know, like giving a frame to the story. It's like, well, it's about a woman going to Barcelona to
Yeah.
find. It's like, well,
No,
is it though? It's just kind of like something. The
Yeah,
movie's
no,
about
things
a series of
Exactly.
events.
Like
you know?
I do like it as a slice of life, and like trying to put a framework around this thing, I
Yeah.
think does it a disservice, and that's why I don't like the description that it gave. Like you
Yeah.
don't need a framework for this. It's just an explorative thing. It's just a human thing. It's just this visceral, emotional experience for these characters, and I thought it was fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I love the performances. I was mentioning to you, I don't know if it's just a thing with if you don't speak the language of a film, but so often it feels like foreign language films, the acting is
Yeah.
just better.
You just I think you focus on
Yeah.
it because you need to, and you
Yeah.
want to, and you want to like.
I think this is the 4th Spanish language film that I've seen with Penelope Cruz, and she
Yeah.
is a fantastic Spanish
Yeah.
language
Oh,
actress.
yeah.
Like, she's always good.
Her the friend that she reunites with in the description,
Mm-hmm.
her little scene where they have to like cancel the show because some shit went
Yeah.
down, like that little monologue she had, like that was a really fantastic performance
Yeah.
in the film for sure. But no, I think maybe you just need to focus on it more, and like it just brings you into it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of how I felt with when the argument between subs and dubs on anime, and
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Well, the voice acting is just so much worse in dubs, so you got to watch the Japanese version." But like the vocal, tendencies or whatever, I don't feel like the emotion matters as much to me in a language if I can't understand the words they're saying, right?
Right.
I feel like I'm going to get more out of understanding the words they're saying than just like the I can't think of the affections on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
word.
Yeah.
So that's why I tend to really only like dubbed anime or animated films dubbed, but live action I can't stand dubbed.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I prefer the dubbing because I think that's what happens. I think you get more, and it's not always true. It really, I guess, in that sense, it just depends on the fucking voice actors.
Yeah.
It really just depends on the voice actors because like sometimes it will be just grossly inadequate, and other times it's like perfect.
Also, with most like stereotypes, I do feel like people are blaming the dubs done from like the 90s and early 2000s, where it was literally like, I am Naruto. My power level is 3,000. It's they were literally just trying to match
So
the lip
that's the thing.
flaps.
I feel that in dubs in live action as well. Like I feel that in a dub that's an actual live action film, and it's portraying a Korean, a German, anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and it sounds
There
like
are good
Karen
dubs.
from Starbucks, and like
Yeah.
that doesn't work at all. And it's just it's the capacity and competency of the voice actors. Because like, as far as anime goes, one of the best voice actors I could think of is the person that did the voice acting for the older brother in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking fantastic. Like that person can really capture the intensity and the emotion, and it just works so well. And when you watch the original, it doesn't feel like when you watch the actual language, it doesn't feel that much different.
Yeah.
But it depends on each individual case if somebody can actually can give that performance in that. I think just a lot of dubbing and voice acting, like you're getting kind of dregs that aren't capable of performing, and
Yeah.
it's just they're reading, and when you're just reading, then you lose it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to bring up it's one of my top 5 series of all time, Dark. You can find it on Netflix. Definitely watch it if you haven't seen it. But it's a German series, and I watched the first 2 episodes subtitled because that's how I usually prefer it. But then I watched those first 2 episodes. I came back to it later, and like the settings had been switched off, and so it started dubbed, and I just said fuck it, and I just watched the 3rd episode dubbed. I watched the rest of the series dubbed, and it's one of the better like dubbed pieces of art I've ever seen. And honestly, I actually really like it because there's so much going on visually. Not having to read the subtitles is like kind of a big deal.
It's kind of important.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that we had a listener
Oh.
speaking to.
Oh, it's my friend Dan.
Oh, okay.
The OG director. Dean is super
Oh,
passionate about returning to the same.
I think we're talking about How to Train Dragons.
Oh,
yeah.
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 He's correct saying how to pronounce the filmmaker I was saying earlier.
Oh.
Luca.
Yeah.
Luca
You didn't get it right.
Guadagnino.
Guadagnino.
Luca Guadagnino.
There we go.
Got
Nino. There's an O at the end there. It's Nino.
We're
He
so
literally
used
only
to-
chimed in so he could correct me.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what?
Yeah, that was nice.
We're so used to not having listeners. I just want to make sure that we paid attention to the listener we had. Hey.
Oh, and you won our prize of be the first listener in the year of 2025.
You get to
Congratulations.
listen to the next half hour for free.
He's probably already gone.
Yeah, no, for sure.
For
Well, you
sure.
can come back. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it can be really good. And it can be really bad, but
Even
it's, it's all about the performance.
Yeah, I honestly I can't remember the last movie besides like some of those Italian westerns and stuff where they're the normal movie is everyone's dubbed. I can't remember the last movie I chose to watch, live action movie I chose to watch dubbed. It was probably a Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan movies are like that too. Sometimes the only version available is just a
Yeah.
dubbed version because they filmed one version and then released it in America.
And I think
Right.
kung fu movies are actually fine. It kind of adds that like
Well,
old
it's
school,
it's
like,
become their mystique. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
it's become the
it's
shtick.
just
to
much
them.
like the Godzilla thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And if that's if it's appropriate for the aesthetic of the thing, then it's fine. But yeah, it's always very. It just depends. But I do agree though that I think that it makes you zero in a little bit more and just puts you in the film, and I think that's really important, especially for a drama too. Like for a drama to really hit as hard as a drama needs to hit, you need to be in it. It's not a background noise thing.
That's why I was so surprised about Dark dubbed, is because I think the voice acting is so good. Not only that, but I feel like they did a good job of like picking voices that look like they go
think
with that character.
That matters
Yeah.
too. My one of my biggest gripes, it has been and always will be, like, if it's a fucking Korean and they don't have an accent,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fucking silly.
That's
That's
I feel
fucking
like it
silly,
might even
like-
be better doing like a white people dubbed with white people
Yeah.
yeah.
when
no,
you
that's-
do when it because like I think I watched.
I didn't
Squid
feel like I
Game.
was watching dubbed content as
Yeah.
I was watching it,
I think that when I watched the first season of Squid Game, I was watching with someone else and they wanted to watch the dub, and it's like they kind of voice everybody like their cartoon characters.
Yeah, no, and that's
and
exactly
that's not
like,
really what I
it
want
doesn't,
from
it
a
doesn't
live
make
action
any
thing.
sense. And like
Yeah.
anytime I see any Indian film I've watched, and it's like a dude that just sounds like Ken from down the street. Like, okay, I know there's an Indian dude that speaks English that can voice this part
Yeah.
and has an appropriate accent.
Yeah.
At
So
least
this
get
makes
us
sense.
The essence
Yeah,
of
like,
an Indian film.
Come on, like if I'm gonna buy
Yeah.
that this person of this ethnicity from this part of the world is speaking English, there's gonna be a motherfucking accent.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just not have an accent.
On the flip side of that, in other countries, because there's franchises that are huge worldwide, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
the Avengers,
Right.
and that'll be like a guy who's a huge action star in India.
Right.
He's famous for that, but he's also the guy who voices Robert Downey Jr. in like every single Robert Downey Jr. movie. And he's famous for that also.
Right.
I think that's kind of fun.
If
we had like the equivalent of that in America.
Yeah, dudes would just lean in like, this is my thing now. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Voice double.
Yeah. And like, there's the guy who voices Tom Cruise in every movie and stuff. It's just funny.
But yeah, back to the film we were talking about. All about, I did not know what this was going to be because I had no knowledge of anything. But yeah, I just really enjoyed the earnesty and honesty of the story. I enjoyed all the characters. I enjoyed the complexity of it. There's way more complex of the story than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be
pregnant HIV positive nun. That's
well, just the
what other movie has
just the complexity that she tries to find this person that she can wrap up this part of her life with, but then he's gone they're gone because they're fucking do not have their shit
like
together.
Apparently the shittiest trans woman in all of
and then so
Spain
she just leans into all these people that she reconnects with and just starts a whole new family, and then meets Penelope Cruz and like basically like has a new child, all the layers to the story were really satisfying, and all the people that were telling them and the people that were in this story, it was all just very genuine, and it was just a hell of a drama to watch unfold. And it was really easy to get connected to all the characters for sure.
Yeah. I don't, like I was saying, the slice of lifeness, it's not exactly that, but it's like, it feels like you're kind of walking alongside someone. You like meet them halfway on their jog, and then you stay with them for about half their jog, and then you just leave. You like zoom in on someone's life, and then just kind of fades out. It's done. The story's not over, but that's how his films seem to feel, and I really dig it. And it's just also beautiful colors and camera work, like pretty simple camera work, but gorgeous colors.
I thought it like you had made the point after the film that like it just feels like a bunch of like random storylines kind of spliced together,
Yeah, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
Because there are some movies that just feel like, and then.
I think that's accurate. It's definitely interwoven storylines.
Yeah.
I dug the film. I dug the film quite a bit. I did want to ask you though, Reese, like as far as like your like sexy nun quota, do you think that the HIV positive Penelope Cruz is that like a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I don't know. Like she is technically a nun, but like does she wear? I don't think she wears like the nun.
She doesn't commit to being a nun. She's like she's going to be a nun. She's not quite there.
No offense, but HIV is not very sexy. Yeah, no, it was very.
When this movie came out.
Not when this movie came out. No, not at all.
It was very fun that there were unintentionally a nun double feature here.
Yeah.
The nuns play a much smaller part in Polyester, but they do show up. The second film we watched, Polyester, and again, I think I knew more about the plot of this one, but it was still very, very pleasant surprise. From 1981, directed by John Waters. Blessed with a keen sense of smell and cursed with a philandering pornographer husband, a parasitic mother, and a pair of delinquent children, the long-suffering Francine Fishpaw...
Parasitic mother? That seems kind of unfair.
Yeah.
Really, like...
The long-suffering Francine Fishpaw turns to the bottle as her life falls apart, until deliverance appears in the form of a hunk named Todd Tomorrow. And the tagline is it's sensational.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, the smell-o-vision.
Yeah, there's a whole like introduction with smell-o-vision.
Whole bit of that. Yeah.
And it's used for various comedic effects throughout the film.
Yes.
There were times I was like, what would the scent be here? Like, I guess alcohol?
Yeah. Whiskey one for sure.
Yeah.
So I actually, in my mind, I think I thought this was another film. I think I've seen a film. I don't know the name, but I can recall a poster image of. I'm pretty sure it's the same person
Divine.
that played. Yeah, something like because I thought this was gonna be a like taxi driver
So there's,
falling down scenario where she was pushed too far and snapped.
I actually thought that it was a similar
Yeah.
plot to that. But he, of course, did work with Divine multiple times.
Yeah.
She is the main character in Pink Flamingo,
That's what I was thinking.
Pink
I was
Flamingo?
thinking about Pink Flamingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Female Trouble and Multiple Maniacs.
Yeah.
And all 4 of those movies are on the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. So that's where my mind was, and so I was waiting for it the entire time we were watching this film.
Yeah.
Just snapping, and like it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Everybody got their
the kids
Right.
really turned it around. That was very.
Yeah.
I was happy for them. They were extremely. I mean, the one daughter who's is like bragging to Francine that she's pregnant. And from this one guy, and Francine's like, oh, so don't tell me you're going to marry him. And she goes, marry him? Disgusting. I'm getting an abortion.
Yeah. Yeah. The daughter's character, both like pretty much, dude. Everybody is such a comic book character in this show.
Oh, yeah,
like
but-
they're all just ridiculous. The foot stomping son, that just like
He was my favorite
overtly promiscuous
storyline
daughter.
of this film.
Yeah, I
The-
feel like that's aged really well because I feel like foot fetishists didn't really hit the mainstream until like
Yeah.
5-6 years ago.
Right.
This is definitely a goofy movie, like
Like a goofy
John Waters. You think like Serial Mom?
Mhm.
Definitely get a little bit of that vibe here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a lot
very
of goof.
similar family actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
very much so. Yeah, definitely gave me those vibes.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a little, I don't know, like because we just watched the Weird Al movie recently. And
Yeah.
it kind of gave like the humor, like was kind of I kind of got like glimpses of that humor, but this like just kind of barely crosses the line on like it's funny. It was an entertaining movie, but it's also kind of dumb, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and I didn't feel that with the Weird Al movie. I thought that like they did a good job of keeping it smart, or like maybe this one was a little bit too buffoonish, you know.
Right. Now,
Very,
there were
very
moments
campy.
that were pretty hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely campy. Is a great description for it.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, campy as campy can be.
John
And
Waters loves his
I
camp.
did not. I dug it. Like it for me. I just felt like, man, where was the justice delivered? Well, it turns out the justice was inadvertently delivered by her fucking random handicapped sidekick that became a fucking bajillionaire. That's like the only positive in this woman's life the entire
Yeah.
film. Let's go
Yeah.
on a picnic.
I
What was
actually
that
love that character. Tickles.
Tick-
You
Yeah.
did get a lot of
Oh, yeah.
laughs out of
Was
this
it
film.
Tickles?
I will say.
Cuddles? No, it was
Cuddles,
Cuddles.
yeah.
Yes.
No, we did get a lot of. There were some pretty genuine laughs here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's-
Cuddles
it's fun.
especially. I loved throwing herself not a debutante ball.
Mm.
What did she call it? Like the coming out of the eligible
Yeah.
maiden. It was very funny.
No, it was a fun kind of contrast. I mean, that's it. The only thing, it is mostly just this character being fucking just shit on the entire time, and that's why I
Yeah.
felt so much like I was waiting for that falling down moment where she like really was leaning into it at certain points. Like I thought she was just gonna fucking snap. Like, what's the moment? Like, what is
Yeah.
this gonna be it? Is this gonna be it? And then she just never did, and it's like, come on. But
Well, now we'll have,
thankfully,
you'll have
Cuddles
to-
came and delivered inadvertent justice by running this asshole over.
Yeah, so many cartoon characters in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
the
The porn mogul like is just
Yeah.
like so
No,
over
is
the
it
top
once-
and, like like just
his
like,
calling
like,
in and the torture that he was delivering on her.
yeah,
Like,
just like for like no, like going out of his way. Like this
Yeah.
dude's like
Yeah.
big in the porn industry, so he's like a gazillionaire, but he's taking time out of his day just to fuck
Yeah.
fuck with somebody.
well, that's like that description is like parasitic mom. Like
Yeah.
she just like the old American mom with just like an awful family.
Yeah.
A family that's just trying to.
No, he was saying
torture her.
her mom was parasitic.
Oh yeah, her mom. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Her mom was a fucking
Literally
super parasitic cuntbag for sure.
conspires to kill and steal all of her money.
Yeah, man, I just really that's the only thing I got to say for this story is I really wish she would have just snapped the fuck off. Like that's what this was missing was her just murdering these fucking idiots. Because there's a bunch of idiots and just a bunch of shitty people. Like
Most of them got their comeuppance, except for the kids who get a second chance.
well, the kids they turned their shit around.
kids.
They
They
turned their
did.
shit around.
They turned.
in different
They
ways,
were
but-
absolutely
Fetish,
hateable
son.
at the
Oh,
beginning,
yeah,
and
no,
they
were
became
terrible.
very
The-
lovable by
the
the
daughter was like super hateable,
cartoonishly lovable.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched this one second. I had a lot of fun with it, but I enjoyed.
Yeah, it
think
was a good
I-
closer. Yeah, I liked it as that.
Yeah, I definitely, obviously, All About My Mother, I believe, is the superior film.
For sure.
Much better
I would say it's a
filmmaking.
superior film, but Polyester might have been like the more entertaining watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
just a
It was
nice,
good- it was
easy
it was a good
85
pairing
minutes.
because of that.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
we
Very,
got the-
very breezy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a lot of fun. Just a lot of ridiculousness. Yeah, the opening scene where the scientist is describing the whatever the fuck he called it with his sense, and he's like, "This new crazy technology." And it's like, motherfucker, it's a scratch and sniff. Like, he's like,
Hey, this was 1981.
look,
Do you
scratch
know when the
this.
scratch and sniff was
oh my
invented?
God,
I don't.
it works.
You-
like,
you-
yeah, of course it works. It's on a fucking.
I was just
card.
thinking it'd be funny. It's like, oh, I just made this banana bread. It's always like something like that. I just made
Yeah,
this
yeah.
banana bread. It's like, and you get a number. It's like, wow, Ray, what you're doing right now seems really desperate. And it's like, number, like what does desperation smell like?
Yeah, make it a little
It needs
more,
it needs to be to that level.
yeah, a little bit more abstraction there for sure.
19 scratch and sniff technology.
Yeah, is there a way that we can watch the movie and get the scratch and sniff experience?
Like I said, I believe the criterion includes a scratch.
I
I
was
was
joking.
seeing the
Oh yeah, that, I mean,
looks like scratch and
makes
sniff
sense.
was invented in late 1960s. So
Yeah,
it was a fairly
it
new
was-
invention.
Yeah,
in the
they knew what
80s.
it was, so
He
it was
was
not as
a-
amazing
like
as
an
that guy
addict.
portrayed. But,
Yeah, I want to look at this. I believe I might be wrong, but I believe the criterion of Polyester. Here's the cover, and I love the criterion cover.
yeah, that's the one I.
It's like a very
Found
classic
another-
romance.
Yeah, like Gone with the
Novel,
Wind type
yeah,
shit. Yeah.
I guess this isn't very interesting for the radio, but
We're fucking learning about scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Scratch and sniff,
Yeah,
folks.
yeah.
Buckle up.
Let's just have a moment of silence while Reese goes through his fucking iPad.
But yeah, so
Anyway,
you should totally watch this film. It's worth. Both these films are worth.
yeah,
watching.
definitely both worth
John
watching.
Waters does some pretty interesting, wacky things.
Yeah, I need to dive more into both of these guys' filmography. They're just gems of filmmakers.
for sure.
It just both of them kind of feel like they do whatever they want and make very interesting
yeah,
films.
I think that's important for
yeah, you got to respect that.
real art is doing whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then you're not making art.
Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, these are the kind of filmmakers where you don't. I mean, Polyester. You I think most comedies you want a little bit of a plot, a premise to go into. But,
Yeah.
you know, real like auteur filmmakers, you're just interested in what they have to say. You know,
Yeah.
I don't need to be sold on the new Christopher Nolan movie. I just want to know there's a new Christopher Nolan.
Yeah,
movie
exactly.
coming, you know?
Like when they've presented competent work so much, like you know what it is, and you're
Yeah.
just ready to go for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
But yeah.
Watch both.
Ready to hear about the movies coming to theaters this
Yeah,
year?
man, I've been
Yeah.
going to theaters on Saturday mornings,
Oh damn.
and I'd like to try to keep that up.
Yeah, I'm trying to go more myself.
You're gonna run
So-
out at the pace you've been
I
going.
know, man. Is there anything I should be going to see, or am I just gonna have to go see 28 Years Later again? Because I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the stuff
Rick Mueller did
returning
that.
to theaters, and I have to. I know you get annoyed I bring it up, but I have to say, this Friday, as of this Friday, there's not a single Christian movie playing in our theater.
Oh, well, that's a
surprising.
plus for me for my Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Right.
But the returning films, we have Lilo and Stitch live action, How to Train Your Dragon live action, Materialists, live action. Mission Impossible
Whatever.
7,
Yeah,
8,
just fuck.
live action. Ballerina, that's a cartoon. This is a movie. It kind of. I saw a trailer for this in front of something. It looked pretty bad. It's called It's called Bride Hard.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
Rebel
no,
Wilson.
thank you.
Yeah,
No,
it looks
thank
like
you.
it should have gone straight to
Just
streaming.
from the fucking title, like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah, and then Rebel Wilson on the cover. It's like,
It looks pretty bad. The new Pixar film, I will probably end up going to see this because Pixar usually delivers to some degree or another. It's called Elio. I think it's kind of funny. We have 2 Disney movies in theaters. One's called Lilo and one's called Elio.
my wife saw Elio with her niece on Sunday, and she said that she enjoyed it and she thought it was cute, but she did not think that I would enjoy it. So
It
mean,
looks on the lower end of
can assume.
Pixar films.
Yeah.
I did see the trailer, and the trailer did look a little too like young.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it looks like definitely
It's like on the
children's-
young
a
end of a family
children's
film.
movie.
Yeah.
It's a children's movie.
28 years later is obviously still in theaters. And then the 2 new releases this week are Megan 2.0
Oh God.
and F1, the racing movie, which
I might actually go see that.
again, I will say kind of like How to Train Your Dragon. I feel like if I'm going to see it, I'll probably want to see it in theaters
Yeah,
because I saw. Did we see Gran Turismo together?
Yes, we did.
That was a fun movie in theaters.
Yeah, that was a
just-
fun movie.
I'm not a sports
I've seen it
guy.
a second time also, and I think that that's actually just kind of a decent movie. I think that's actually just kind of a good movie.
Yeah, but
I'm not even a racing fan.
yeah, I'm not a sports guy. I'm not a racing guy. Brad Pitt, I do think, is kind of one of the best actors working. And these like movies that are shot to be huge and cinematic probably are going to a better
Of
in a
course.
theater.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I might
Especially
actually.
like just the
end up seeing
atmosphere
F1.
of the sound
Yeah.
for a racing film.
Yeah,
especially,
honestly,
like,
I'd probably love
that
to see
kind of
this movie in
racing film.
IMAX, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I have a chance right
I
now.
was just thinking when I was a kid watching like Days of Thunder, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
that was
now
cool
put
to
you
me.
right the fuck in it for sure.
Yeah, there was a movie with Chris Hemsworth, Rush.
I never saw that one.
That one's good.
Is it really?
It's based on a true story.
Okay.
Even like, I wasn't a huge fan of Ford
I
v
think
Ferrari.
just the fact that it had a comic book actor in it, like at the time.
No,
that it
see,
came-
most of them are
No,
good.
no, I'm just
actors.
saying at
Oh,
the time that
yeah.
it came out, I was just
Yeah.
like, dude, I don't want to
You
see
just had
more
that
fucking
context.
comic book like actors on screen.
If you remember the guy who plays like the sniper in Inglourious Bastards, the German sniper, he's like also it's him and Chris Hemsworth are like the main characters in that
Okay.
movie. It's based on a true story. I really liked it, but even like Ford v Ferrari, I think honestly that was maybe on the lower end of my interest, but still it's
I
interesting
dug it.
filmmaking.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And well, that one for me, it was the characters. Like,
Yeah.
first off, you have like 2 powerhouse
Christian Bale.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have just powerhouse actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so might end up seeing that one, and that's probably a good choice for you on your Saturday morning.
Yeah, I might have to do
Yeah.
that.
Because the other choice is Bride Hard.
I'm not going to see Bride.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
And then according to this, the only movie coming out next week is the new Jurassic World movie.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That comes out
I'm-
not this week, but
Not
next
a week from
I'm
tomorrow.
so fucking checked out of Jurassic Park, dude.
I mean-
I'm as checked out of Jurassic Park as I am checked out of Star Wars. Like,
I have been checked out of Jurassic Park, but you know what I am not checked out on?
Scarlett Johansson.
well,
and
yeah.
Mahershala Ali,
So-
honestly.
I might go see.
I mean, I would agree. Like, Scarlett Johansson's so fucking good that like I'd probably watch her in about whatever quality of film that she'd be put in. So
Yeah.
and I also
That is a
saw the
thing.
interview with her like a year ago. She's been like championing to be in a Jurassic Park movie
Right.
for like ever. Like it's like literally a passion project for her to
Well,
be
that's
in
cool.
one of these movies.
Yeah.
Also,
that's
just going by the trailer, it's like the first time they've done something interesting with the franchise. It's kind of like the Predator thing. You know,
Sure.
it's like maybe these
Yeah.
movies just suck because you insist on doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Like this one doesn't actually take place in a theme park that's,
No,
falling
then
apart.
that helps. That helps.
So something interesting.
I've always,
maybe.
I don't know. I've always had a hard time with dinosaur things when it's like, because they always present like some amount of like conflict with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And like, man, I've had a beef with that since I was a little kid, and opening and seeing there used to be trading cards that were like dinosaurs attack, where like dinosaurs were just running amok and like murdering a bunch of people and shit. Sweet fucking trading cards, awesome hyper gory shit. You know, like it was like Mars Attacks. It was a Tops thing, like similar thing. Like at the end of the day, man, like I'm sorry, like you would just kill dinosaurs. Like that's kind of the problem with the premise is like if we wanted to just them to die, and I know that movies aren't always, the stories not always, we want them to die.
It's actually never been that.
Yeah, I know, but most of the time for the stories that you see in the movies, like it's pretty arguable that, well, we might want them to die because they seem to be murdering everyone. And if we did want them to die, then we could just make them die. Because
well, there are no armies in any of these movies.
Well,
it's literally that in every one of them, the dinosaurs outnumber the people.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying that's a quick phone call, and then all of a sudden, like that's just not an issue anymore.
They're also like super top secret. Like,
well, I know
these 5 people were chosen for a reason.
I get that, but you know what you get what I'm saying though. Like, if when it comes to like, okay, like we sent in how many groups of top secret guys, and they just keep getting murdered by dinosaurs. At a certain point, somebody's gonna be like, maybe we should just murder these dinosaurs. And I know absolutely if humans wanted to murder anything.
Oh yeah, you just drop a bomb on the island.
We just murder them.
That's
like,
definitely
that's
the stupidest part
we do is murder things.
Of almost, I think, every single Jurassic Park movie. Definitely, maybe the first one too, but it's
the object
where it's like
of
the
any
military's
of the
like,
never
no,
to destroy.
We need the dinosaurs for war. It's like you have fucking drones.
You don't.
Why do you want dinosaurs?
All that would happen is we would have T-Rex fucking farms where we get T-Rex meat. Like that's all that would happen.
Okay,
like,
you're winning me over now.
like, if we actually like rebirth dinosaurs, they would
Bronchiosaurus steaks.
Dude, you know how many people you could feed with a fucking?
Hell yeah!
You know,
all of a sudden,
come on.
The Flintstones intro is not even ironic. You know?
No, it's just that's always been my thing with these things. It's just like, it's just pitched. Because I always remember the second Jurassic Park, and it's like, dude's like landing, like we're gonna fucking take this back, and it's like a guy with a 50 caliber Barrett, like. That will kill any dinosaur. Like, yes, if you're surprised by a dinosaur, he will eat you. But if you're not surprised by a dinosaur and you see this big ass dinosaur, that will fucking kill that dinosaur.
Yeah,
I can't talk about Elio because I have not seen the film.
Interesting. Okay, he's being a shit.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him right now. But no, I do think people like to be like dinosaurs. They had like fucking bulletproof skin. It's
and they
did
shoot
not. Elephants. You could probably shoot a dinosaur.
We have things that just shoot through fucking tanks. Yeah. Like we kill everything. That's all we do. We kill things. So, but yeah, no, and it's fun. I do like that they're branching out, and like I like the idea of it like breaching into the world, like the dinosaurs in the world, and like if we could get to that point where it's just like they're fucking everywhere.
Again, they were leading somewhere interesting with the last ones, and then they totally did a U-turn on that one.
And this is kind of the same thing I say for like aliens and shit. Like I want to see aliens, not like there's like an isolated instance of xenomorphs. Like I want to see like there are xenomorphs everywhere. What the fuck are we gonna do? Like I want to see that in that franchise.
Watch Alien Earth coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully. I hope that's what that is.
I mean, the idea that for legal reasons, you would have to have ways to immediately just like you'd have to like way after way after way to so if the T-Rex roars too loud, he'll get a shock that'll just kill him.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that gets broken and falls off. It's like, okay, well each dinosaur we were required to have a fucking bazooka by their cage. So if they go mad, we
break
just kill
glass.
them.
Die. Yeah.
I mean,
you guys are totally just overthinking this Scarlett Johansson movie.
This is what I'm saying. I'm excited for this one. I liked Jurassic. For some reason, I think people talk about it like it was one of the worst ones, but I like Jurassic Park 3, where it's just like 3 people having to go back into the park to retrieve someone who's lost there.
Yeah,
it's much more realistic.
Well, that's the thing. That's like when you isolate it like that. That's what made Jurassic Park good, is because there's like an isolated thing, people that were out of their depth. But like as soon as you present like, okay, there's government agencies involved, then it's just like, well,
have there been government agencies involved? I guess I haven't seen enough.
The whole like overarching threat of the newer trilogy is the fucking government wanting to steal the dinosaurs for weapons.
Yeah, which is
it's
fucking ridiculous.
shit.
It's really stupid. Yeah. Like, we could
forget computers.
We could
put a dinosaur.
We could put a gun on a dog. Yeah.
I don't know. All right, maybe with certain politicians, it is realistic.
Yeah.
Drones aren't gonna get us anywhere. I want a raptor.
We need a drone to drop in a raptor mounted with guns.
But the power level on a Bronchiosaurus is actually stronger than the power level on a M16. So.
Oh shit. Yeah,
that's why I was getting really annoyed with the John Wick movie. It's like, because now it's just turning into power scaling.
Yeah, no,
like,
it's turning into anime
we
bullshit.
know Ballerina can kill anyone, but she can't kill John Wick.
No,
John Wick can kill anyone.
Dude, that's like, so I'm a fucking nerd, but that's one thing that I hate about a lot of nerd culture is just like, well, who'd win, Superman or Goku? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This is ridiculous. I don't give a fuck. Like, when you're dealing with characters that are just like so powerful, it's like, well, they're so powerful. It's not like them fighting anybody else. Like, yeah, but they're so powerful, them fighting each other. It's basically just dudes fighting dudes with more explosions. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, this is ridiculous.
I love
they would come together and be friends because
I love the character of Batman and the archetype and the stories and everything. But the people who are like, well, actually, Batman's actually the strongest member of the Justice League because he has plans. He could actually kill all the other members if he wants. Like, guys, this is so fucking dumb.
I saw a funny meme not that long ago about that where it's like Batman like contingencies for if the Justice League did this or that, and like his contingency for like if he's like, oh yeah, I have a contingency for myself too. And they're like, oh well, what is it? And he's like, oh, I can't show you. Oh, I'm just kidding. You just shoot me in the face. Like, yep, yeah, that'll do it.
It's my one weak spot. My body.
Oh shit! All right, moving on. Go watch movies.
My one weak spot. There's nothing special.
Yeah, I'm really smart and have a lot of money.
That's kind of fucked up.
Oh no, I'm human. But yeah,
was that it? Is that all the things?
That's everything. Go see movies.
Go see movies.
Plenty of options.
Go to the theater, and when you're there, fucking pay for the overpriced popcorn.
Yes, please. Really, like
get a snack.
Really should.
Let's keep these fucking things open for as long as we can.
Yeah.
Be nice to the teenagers that may or may not know what they're doing behind the counter.
Yeah.
Like,
I went
when have a cool job.
When we went to see Ballerina. For some reason it was like super, I don't know exactly. They hadn't like lined it up properly with the screen. So there was about 4 foot of projection on every side of the screen.
Damn.
And at first I was like, we'll live with it. And then like I saw it, like you're probably missing about 15 to 25% of the
terrible.
picture.
Yeah, that's
so
rough.
we did go complain, and it took them a while, but they fixed it. Yeah. And and actually they actually zoomed in too much then.
Yeah.
And it didn't cut anything off. That's why I was happy with it. But there's probably about 6 to 8 inches of blank screen around it.
They wanted to make sure that you didn't come back.
I'll live with it.
We're not fucking running this back.
See, overcorrection, man. Yeah. It's like going to a restaurant and ordering extra of something. You know that thing's going to be unstable.
Yeah, for sure.
Support cinema. Go to the theater.
All right.
Okay, John.
You got the next one.
Yeah, I was fairly decided on something for the last like month or so from my last pick. I had a thing in mind, but then just in some conversation with you guys not that long ago, I had a different thing that popped into mind because of some things we've talked about. And so I am going to go with...
The Postman 2.
No. Oh, God.
Postman.
I'm going to go with the DiCaprio remake of Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
The modernized Romeo and Juliet with Tromeo and Juliet.
Ooh.
So it's Romeo plus Juliet and Tromeo plus Juliet.
Yeah. So
very fun. I have never seen
kind of similar vibe to your pick, where it's like here's a real film and here's not really a real film.
Here's a wild, campy masterpiece.
Yeah. So we haven't had,
especially appropriate with
we're going to be able to find Romeo and Juliet.
Oh yeah, I got Shudder, bro. Like it's on there.
It's on Shudder. And Romeo plus Juliet is on Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also own that one on Vudu.
Right on.
So it'll be fun. I think.
Awesome.
I think it'll be fun. I haven't had the DiCaprio flick yet, right? No, I don't think so.
The what?
Have we had the DiCaprio flick yet?
Seems like it, but I can't think of one.
How could we have not had a DiCaprio flick? I guess not.
Wow.
I think the closest we've got was a Tarantino flick, but he wasn't in it.
That's true. Yeah.
So there we go.
Cool.
All right. Watch those movies.
Yeah, and
watch movies.
that will be the 85th and 86th movies that we've covered, and it will be
nice.
episode 53, and it'll be 2 weeks from today.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good, people. Thanks
All
for
right.
tuning in. Those that did or may.
Anybody still on here? Fuck off.
Go fuck some movies.